Hey, welcome to Hospitality Team Training. This is going to be very quick, I promise, just a few minutes, in which I want to talk about the three primary positions for hospitality. And they are our door greeters, the folks that serve at the New Here booth, and those of you that are serving at the coffee bar. Let me start with why we do what we do. We do it because everybody matters. I mean, God loves people, and we want to do everything we can to make them feel like they found a family when they come here, because they have. Hospitality isn't just a job. I mean, it flows from who we are, and it's not something that we need to force. However, we do need to put some systems in place to make sure we're doing a great job. We want to make sure that we capture information so we can serve people better. We're not like the people that are reselling electric or are trying to sell you a cell phone at Sam's Club by stopping you. We're actually caring for people's souls. So we want to make sure we treat people with the highest level of respect and dignity and kindness. The author of Hebrews in chapter 13, he says, keep on loving each other as brothers and sisters, and don't forget to show hospitality to strangers, for some who have done it have entertained angels without realizing it. Let's talk a little bit about each of the positions involved. For door greeters, your primary responsibility is to make sure that people get connected and that they get a warm welcome. So when should you be in place? Well, I want to encourage you to be in place at least 20 minutes before the service begins. And greet people by opening the door for them, giving them a high five or shaking their hand. You can also engage them in just a very short 30 to 45 seconds of conversation as they come in. Here's what's really important. If you don't recognize someone, ask if you've ever met them before. If you haven't, get their name and tell them that you want to introduce them to somebody. And you can just say the name of the person you see at the New Here booth. And then take them over to the New Here booth and make introductions, and be sure to tell that person what the name of the person who's new here is. And so that way they can get that information captured. Also, if people are looking for anything, make sure to take them where they want to go. Don't just send people to the New Here booth, walk them over. If they ask, where's the restrooms at? Walk them to the door and show them. Or where the coffee's at, walk them to the coffee bar. We want to really make sure we are loving and caring for these folks because God has entrusted them to our church. If you serve in the New Here booth, your primary responsibility is to capture the contact info from everyone who's new here so we can make sure we get those people connected. I want to encourage you to be in place 20 minutes before the service begins, and if at all possible, to be back out there for 10 to 15 minutes after the service ends. Feel free, to take your position during the last song in the worship service so that you're there as people come out the doors. And be proactive in approaching people and introducing yourself to them, especially if you don't recognize them. If a door greeter brings somebody to you, make sure you write their name down on a Connect card as soon as you can, and then try to get their email address, and if at all possible, try to put that information in the iPad. The reason why we have you write down their name is so we can ensure we don't forget it, and we make sure it gets into Becky's hands. And we want you to put information in the iPad so it goes directly into our system. Studies have told us that the best way to retain new people is to acknowledge that they were in your church within 24 hours of their visit. When you capture their info, make sure to tell them they're not going to be on the church email list and get a bunch of emails, but that Pastor Chris is going to send them a welcome email this week, and it will acknowledge they were here and then give them a chance to have any questions they may have answered. If you serve at the coffee bar, your primary responsibility is just to create a welcoming environment and ensure that there are plenty of snacks in a neat and clean area for everybody. So you should try to be in place 45 minutes prior to the worship service so that you can get the coffee made. And then after the service, you want to clean up the area. Keep the area around the coffee bar neat and clean all the time. Refill the coffee and the snacks as needed. And also, after the final service, we want you to clean up the area, put the extra snacks away, and then clean out the coffee carrots by rinsing those out. Guys, thank you all so much for watching. You might not realize it, but your face is the very first thing people see when they come here. So you are really important in this process. And the reason why we're doing this training is we need to improve the system of capturing contact info so that we can better care for all the people God is entrusting to us. And you are central to that system. Thank you so much for all that you do to make W3CU such a great church and for your willingness to learn and grow. You are making a kingdom difference.